Hey, what is up, guys? This is gonna be Mob Psycho 100, Season 2, Episode 2. So, you know how it is. So, after a good introduction, back into Mob Psycho 100 with that good episode for Episode 1, we get into Episode 2. So, Episode 2, I don't know, but I got some eerie vibes in this episode. Like, the atmosphere and everything? It was all dark, gloomy, the colors, all of it. Like the music, the what's it called, art style, the colors, the tone, everything was like I had a really gloomy feel to it. It gave me like that Halloween feel for me. So I don't know. I thought the tone was pretty perfect for this episode. For even I had a bit of chills watching this whole episode. Like not like just like scary chills, just like this is a bit creepy kind of chills. So that's the kind of theme this episode had, which I quite enjoyed. Like that was just my personal opinion anyway of the theme, but the content of the episode was pretty good as well. Well, in terms of plot progression, I would say it was abysmal, but in terms of actual like just enjoyment and enjoyment, it was pretty good. So we get Mob and Rainer in it, just like sat on the streets trying to sell some, trying to sell some of their product, which is obviously to exorcist, I mean to exorcism, and then they meet another psychic. You know, at first, I thought this dude was another fake, like one of Rainer's car. Like I thought it was like a carbon copy of Rainer, but it was just different. But it turns out this dude's actually a psychic. So like so obviously this woman comes up to him for a job request, and they both listen. And it turns out people have been haunting her and stuff, and there's a lot of urban legend stuff around. So Rainer obviously takes the request, and then we find out the dude did he usually charges like 10 times more as Rainer does. But I guess his services are a bit more expensive. But nevertheless, he they both decide to work on the same case anyway. Which was pretty nice. And obviously there was a bit of comedic value between the two, a bit of banter, which I quite found it quite funny to be honest, when they're both trying to fight for this case and stuff. But so they're both looking for clues, and then it was quite cute of Rainer to show that, it was like I forgot the little green blob that always follows thing around. Dimple, that's his name. So like I like how he got Dimple to look after the dude, just in case he might get hurt or something, because he knows that this is quite serious. From the way Mob's response was like, "Yo, I feel there's something quite bad in the town." So that was pretty cute of him. It shows that he's not a bad person. Obviously his morals are a bit, he does like to scam people, but he still doesn't want people to get hurt. That's pretty nice of him. So and then we find out obviously the other, what's it called, the ever exorcist, he's looking for clues on a red hooded dude, and he finds one in the park. And I quite like the little the part where he's interrogating some little girls, and he accidentally touches one of them, and then he's labeled as a pedo. I mean, it's pretty true. You can't be old and be talking to little kids, and like it just I don't know. It's a society nowadays. If you do that, you're a pedo automatically. And then we find the red hooded dude, and this dude's a freak, man. So like he's just wearing, and then he rugby tackles him, and then we find out he's not wearing any gloves underneath. So he's one of those public flashers. So with his good red raincoat, just flashing people. But and then the fact that he was around the school playground just shows what kind of dude this guy is really. Like he's probably the kind of dude who likes to flash little kids or something. Well, I quite like the little comedic reference to Street Fighter they had as well when they were both fighting. That was pretty funny. I thought that was class A funny, to be honest. That was a very good reference. And then they battle it out in the forest. Turns out the dude had a stun gun on him. I mean, like a stun baton. It completely like beats the psychic up. But then, because initially it's thought that he was the main threat, like the ghost or something. It turns out it's just some like he actually is just some like dirty perverted dude who likes to flash people and little kids probably because he was in that park. And then we find the real source of the problem, which is like she's called the Dragger. So she's kind of like this what do you call it? This ghost is actually creepy. You know, it's got the classic Asian horror film tropes looking girl. You know, the creepy pale skin, stuff like that. And yo, and what the thing she was dragging as well, like the bear, the toy dolls all chained up to each other. The scene looked pretty creepy, and like it was just so eerie. I can't get over how eerie the whole feeling was when she appeared, and she just drags the dude. But obviously it was kind of funny because you can see his like bare ass getting dragged into the river. And then this is the part where we find out that dude is actually a psychic, because then he uses some powers to try restrain her. But obviously because he's been severely weakened from the damage he already endured from the pervert, he couldn't really use his psychic abilities to his max. So he's getting dragged as well. And then we see the scene where he's getting dragged to the bottom of the ocean, and you know he's struggling, but yo, she's dragging him real hard. And that's kind of scary, getting dragged by like a creature such as that. But then we see Dimple step in and use his ability to control people. That was pretty sweet, you know. And then we see a little fight sequence, and like, geez, the animation, it looked pretty good, to be honest. Like, it was pretty smooth when they're just dodging through the trees. That was pretty nice of him. And then he calls Mob and Rainer, and they come over, and those two have been on a different, like a wild goose chase. They're about the the human-faced dog, which is just like a dog that's been scribbled on, and then he beats those little kids, which I quite like enjoy. And he gives a little lecture in it, like he basically commits a bit of child abuse, but it's like a good child abuse in a sense, because it's more of a, what do you call it? It's not bad. It's more of teaching them. Oh, I don't know. I can't explain in words. I mean, I can't think of the phrase right now. But it's more of a tough love kind of thing. Like, yo, don't do that again, and he hits them. But so it was kind of sweet again. And then he, I think Reina likes dogs because he went out of his way and he like washed the dog and everything, which is pretty cute again. Look, he's doing good things in this episode. What can I do about this guy? Maybe he's not a complete scumbag who scams people out of money. But then they get the call, so they go and help. And then we hear like some of Dimple's thought processes. He was like, yo, I gotta keep this guy alive or else Mob won't trust me again. Stuff like that. So he tries his best, and like even though the body has like severe limitations, which is the part where his tendon gets ripped, so he can't really move that much. So, but he tries his best, which was all he could do really at that point. But and he's saved in the nick of time by Mob, and Mob just comes in, and then we find out this monster. It's kind of like what's it called? It's kind of she's kind of made out of people's fear and imagination. So the more people that fear her, the stronger she gets and stuff. And then, but it comes to the point where the whole place is flooded, so they can't even escape her anymore. But then Mob, somehow, the reason why he was able to beat her and was unfazed was because he's really antisocial, and he doesn't really he doesn't really keep up with the news or gossip or the rumor of town, so he's out the loop, so he doesn't really know about the rumors and like about the things that she's capable of, so he was totally unaffected. But then the a part where he's affected is by that running grandma, which he couldn't exercise, which because it was turned out because he was just a running grandma, like legit, like no nothing. And that was his first traumatic experience, as the narrator said as well. So that was pretty that was pretty funny as well. And let's go back to the dragger, the part. I like the part where he tries to take a photo of her as well, and there's just like no thingy, no image or anything, and it's just plain. You know, that's like a classic ghost thing, not to show up in images as well. And that's pretty much the episode, to be honest. And then Reina makes a website, so job's gonna be booming. That's what I'm saying. But so what did I think of this episode? I thought this episode was pretty good. It was a very enjoyable episode. There was a lot of what you call it? It had the Mob Psycho feel. I quite liked the whole essence of the episode. Very, very good. It was a bit slice of life, but I did enjoy it. You know, as on a whole, I do enjoy slice of life, but I like it in moderation. especially in these kind of shows. I don't like it too much. Like if there's too much slice of life, it gets a bit annoying. So I like it once in a while, and it definitely suits this show. For example, say like a show like Boruto that I also watch as well. I do not want to see slice of life in that. I mean, like 1 or 2 episodes, but can't have a whole arc on slice of life stuff, you know. Whereas a show like this kind of suits having a slice of life now and then. So it was done very well, to be honest, and I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Can't wait for the next episode as well. But this was it for my review.